Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. There he is. You just saw him. David Gotzo, Executive Chef and Director of Food and Beverage at 18 Hospitality Group. How are you?
I am
great
fantastic.
To see you again.
Great to see you.
You had all the restaurants we were just talking.
Yep.
Really busy yesterday.
One of the busiest days of the year. Nice to happen. I love when it happens in the middle of the week because it kind of trickles throughout the whole week.
That's
so
true.
We're busy. It's a nice little blip.
You'll be packed right through the weekend into next week, I'm sure.
It slows down for sure in March, though. So it's a welcome little blip of busyness right now.
Excited to have you on the show because you and I were talking before the show, and this really is, and I know you might hear me say it every now and then, but there are some favorite events that happen in this city, and the Snowball is one of those. And
it is.
You guys are participating again this year.
This year we're bringing two of our restaurants. So we're bringing Restaurant 18 and Side Door. That's what we're going to showcase a little bit of Side Door today.
Okay.
Fantastic event. Reading up on this is probably our third year of doing it.
Okay.
I'm actually excited because the last couple of years I've double booked myself with other charity events.
Oh, really?
So I've sent my team in my place. So this year I'm actually going to be there, which I'm super excited about.
Nice.
But fantastic organization. So
yeah, and it's a great event too because it's so casual, right? It's tons of fun, great networking opportunity. Tell everybody at home, what is the experience like?
So it's this year's going to be really interesting. There's a lot going on. So it's taking place at the Ottawa Art Gallery. Right where the Germain Hotel is. So the Germain Hotel is a partner. People are looking for accommodations for the night if they've had a little bit too much to drink.
That's a great idea, yeah.
There's a partnership there.
Okay.
But multifaceted chef station. There's going to be a beauty bar, photo booths, a lot of entertainment going on. The senators are going to be there as well, so they're going to have a representation. But really fun, interactive. One of the most bougie events that you can go to in the city. It's a very, 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 very fun event and a fantastic organization. I think they give away about 16,000 snowsuits a year per season to kids in need, which is fantastic. We did a little mini snowsuit drive in January at 18.
Excellent.
We got a few. We were giving people I think 10 to 20% discount if they brought in a used jacket. So we had a few, nowhere near the 16,000 that we're going to be doing at the Snowsuit Bowl. I
know, and this is we've been doing this in the city of Ottawa. If you're new to the city of Ottawa, this has been going on for decades, and it's been so incredibly successful. Unfortunately, the need has grown each and every year, but fortunately, you at home have been so generous in giving each and every year as well. Snowsuitfund.com, by the way. Find out all the information, get your tickets, and it's in two venues. It's Ottawa Arts Court and the Ottawa Art Gallery, which is kind of cool. The first time we've kind of done something like that.
Yeah, and it's last year I believe it was at 50 Sussex.
Yes,
this year this is going to be a bigger event, more of an art showcase. I feel this year because of the Ottawa Art Gallery. I don't know if anyone's ever been. Fantastic art gallery. We actually used to operate the restaurant out of there, and we ended up shutting it down during COVID.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful venue, and people will see a lot of local art, a lot of fantastic art. If that's what you're into.
Let's build some tacos. What have you got here? I can smell it. It's driving me crazy. It smells fantastic.
Someone's got to invent smell-o-vision.
I agree. It's coming. Have you ever gone to one of these 4D seating at a movie theater?
Shakes and
it shakes and then it sprays stuff in your face, and then they have the smell of the air jet fuel coming.
Okay, I hope we have time for this, but I had this idea. My wife used to work at Sage with us, the essential oil company.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what they need to do. That's how you make smell-o-vision. You just use the diffusers, but you just have inventory. This is patented, by the way. Okay. You have an inventory of all these essential oils, of all these unique smells, and it blends a diffusing blend that, as you're watching a show, it emits the...
Listen, I think you're onto something. Yeah, I agree.
Don't steal this idea. Okay, sorry, back to tacos.
Dragon's Den, here we come.
I'm not going to step outside my wheelhouse. This is more of my wheelhouse. So, beautiful beef chuck, AAA Canadian.
Yeah.
Braised with a bunch of aromatics for a long time, and then we lace it with a bunch of butter, chili garlic, and fish sauce. That's what's giving that that beautiful smell. So this is one of the tacos that we've had on the menu at Side Door for a very long time, even well before my time, and I've been around for 8 years.
I've had it, and it's a favorite, and I understand why you've kept it on the menu because your customers probably went, hey, love that you've got this new guy, but can you please
don't fix what's not broken?
The tacos. Yeah, exactly.
That's always a challenge for chefs. Is sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Just don't change anything.
Yeah, for sure.
a whole variety of toppings. When you're at home, what do you like to put on your tacos?
Well, I guess I do a lot of the regular stuff. Avocado's a new one probably in the last 5 years I've started throwing. But, lettuce, tomato, onion, jalapeno, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so something that's signature to what we do is we call the chow chow, which is pickled tomatillos. This is a staple on pretty much all of our tacos at Side Door.
Okay.
Every once in a while, we'll throw like a unique taco. Oh, shit.
Little shift in the kitchen.
In the kitchen there. My gut's in the way. So
I'm gonna just move this so Kevin can see. There you go, Kev.
There you go.
There you are.
This is our tasty sauce. So this is like if you're familiar with like a Kewpie mayo kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's a sort of Japanese mayo. So I'll do a little shake. Try not to cover you with it. So we're gonna cover it with a little bit of this aioli, the tasty sauce.
Nice.
And then, as I always like to call, we run it through the garnish pit. So we've got, like you mentioned, we got avocado. Got to have the avocado.
Oh yeah, so creamy, right?
So creamy, so fresh,
so good.
And I was talking to someone off air there about freezing avocados and how well they actually keep frozen. So
really,
if you do find them that they ripen too quickly.
Joel, was that you?
Yeah,
I knew it right away. I knew the foodie.
We were talking about the avocados, and they do freeze really well.
Are these pickled jalapenos?
These ones are pickled jalapenos that we do in-house.
Which kind of takes a little bit of the bite away, right?
It does.
When you pickle them.
And you can control a little bit of the sweetness when you do it that way as well. It's also very easy to do at home.
To pickle them yourself, you mean?
Big time, yeah.
Okay.
Typically we do like 2-to-1 vinegar to water, salt, sugar, and that's it. Bring it to a boil,
simple.
pour it over top.
Nice.
Add a little bit of texture with some crispy fried onions.
Oh, this is this is something I need to do. A little crunch.
A little bit of crunch,
nice.
A little bit of lime for those at home. And I brought these along.
What are these?
So these are the taco shells that we use at the restaurant. So
oh, really?
I didn't want to bring we have a big contraption that we feed it through, we press it, we cook them.
So you make your own?
Order. So we make our own
That's
tortillas.
Impressive.
And they're made like to order. You order your tacos at Side Door, someone's back there fishing through, getting them from already, getting all covered in flour and pressing them and cooking them, and it's a good spread. But
is that the only taco you have on the menu?
No,
you had more, right?
We change them seasonally. So we always do like the Baja fish one, which we normally will do either like halibut, sometimes we do salmon, or we'll do cod. So the fried fish taco. We have a beautiful lamb curry taco. It's kind of like a rich Indian curry. That one's very tasty. And then we swap out a vegetarian taco. So we've done sort of stewed shiitakes or a taro root taco, or sometimes we use like a coconut dal fritter as a taco. So we change it up every season. So. But this one, staple, never changes. Gonna stay on the menu forever.
And I understand why. As I said, I've had this before. It's fantastic. Just a reminder again. There's going to be a live auction.
Yep.
They've got live music happening too, right? And you mentioned art. So I think is there a live art showcase?
It sounds that way. Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a live art performance of people doing some art while they're on the stage. And one of the auction items that we're putting forward is going to be a private dinner. That I'll do, 6 to 8 people, with wine pairing, 5-course tasting in the luxury of your own home.
You're going to their place, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing...
Cooking, cleaning, doing everything, putting on a bit of a show, so I highly recommend people put a bid in on that one.
No kidding.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, and a big thanks to you and your entire team for that. You guys are always so generous. Again, the Snowball, Ottawa Arts Court, and the Ottawa Art Gallery, 2 amazing venues. If you've never been to the Ottawa Art Gallery, it's absolutely stunning, especially when they put on events like this. February the 28th, tickets available at snowsuitfun.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help.
starts here.
Hi, I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Back to introduce you to two people who are making a big difference in the lives of moms here in the Ottawa region. I am joined by Christine Crook and Julia Nickel from the Rooted Family Wellness Center. Welcome to you both. Christine is the founder and owner, and Julia, you are a new parent coach and gentle sleep consultant.
Yes.
Not the more aggressive sleep consultant.
No. There's a
You're
difference.
the gentle one.
I am.
Really? Is there a difference?
There is.
Okay,
So
tell me
my
about that.
style would be a non-sleep training approach. So
Okay.
you can hire people who will support with sleep training, and mine is more of an attachment-based approach that is highly responsive, and it's more about understanding normal sleep and how to kind of cope with it, and the little tweaks we can make to make it smoother.
I love that. Here I was being a smart aleck, and there was actually something to this. Christine, you're the founder and owner. Tell me a little bit about the programs and services you offer.
Yeah, the Rooted Family Wellness Center was born during the pandemic when I was a former doula and we couldn't be in the hospital. So we wanted to open a center that really focused on many different services all under one roof to serve families with holistic practitioners, so chiropractic, massage, pelvic floor, mental health, all under one roof, along with a big community side where we have drop-ins and exercise and yoga and workshops. So it's really just a big hub for families as they go through fertility, pregnancy, postpartum, and then everybody in the family.
Right.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about the fourth trimester.
Yes.
Obviously, all trimesters are important, but
They
the
are.
fourth in particular, why did you want to focus on that today?
It's definitely the most vulnerable time for families during right after the baby is born. It's that first 3 months. So families are learning and growing, and newborns are a lot of work. So really focusing on the support that families need during that time, because everyone is learning and sleep deprived and going through all of the things that new parents go through. So helping families learn how to prepare for that by suggesting baby wearing and maybe doing some meal prep ahead of time, and lots of suggestions to help them prepare for that time, because it is a time that you can really prepare for and build that village to help you get through that time.
And Julia, everybody wants to meet baby, right?
Exactly.
And today we want to talk about sort of the do's and don'ts of visiting, family, got a new baby. Let's first of all start with the do's. What are some of those do's you would suggest?
Well, definitely we actually want to start with the don'ts.
Okay.
We thought we could swap it
We're
up.
gonna swap
Sure,
it.
I don't mind.
We're gonna say don't expect to be invited over right away.
Okay.
So the do there would be rather we suggest waiting for the invite and knowing that that might not come for weeks. It doesn't have to be right away, and kind of being patient about that. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't feel bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure like a
Yeah.
grandparent's watching right now and they're like, wait a minute, I am allowed in that home anytime I want. This is my grandchild. But again, right, you have to think of the parents. They're going
right.
through it. All right, let's look at it. What's another don't?
So even if you have like food that you want to bring over, don't expect to be invited in, or if you have a gift, even if you want to just drop that stuff off, that's what you should
Yeah, so we suggest offering to bring something to the front door. We have a system where if you have a meal train set, which is a website you can use, where you set up food drop-offs, that you put a cooler on the front porch instead, and you just slip the meal right in there. You tell them the day you're bringing it so they know they don't have to prepare supper, but their meal's waiting there and they're not obligated to visit because it might not be a great time of day. They might be napping themselves.
I was just going to say that. The parents could be sleeping, never mind, trying to get baby down. What's another don't, Christine?
So when you do get invited over, don't expect to be waited on like a guest.
Right.
Yes, often people will just sit and chat and the parents are offering them water, and really it should be the other way. So enter the home, offer them water, ask if you can put tea on. If you're comfortable in the home and you know them well and the sink is full of dishes, you can even chit chat while filling the dishwasher. So get something off of their list while you're there instead of kind of burdening, kind of try to be the opposite, which is really nice.
You brought some babies along with you here today. Any particular reason outside of the fact that that's what you do for a living, is help people with baby?
Andrew brings lots of attention because he looks so real. So even
no kidding.
Putting him in my car, we just wanted to show that, when you go for a visit, don't always expect to hold baby.
Okay.
Because obviously with what has gone on in our world recently, we're really worried about germs. So a lot of new parents are really quite leery about handing baby over to everybody. So quite often, just be okay if the parent wants to keep the baby in their arms and you can see from a distance.
Yeah,
and another nice gesture is just to wash your hands upon entry of the home, just to kind of stop that spread, but also it shows that you're being thoughtful about it and that you're not just swooping in and picking up the baby and they know, okay, well, she washed her hands. I can feel a bit comfortable about that. So,
what advice do you give to parents during this time, Julia, as far as sleep goes?
Yes, good question. So in these, especially during the 4th trimester, it's very baby-led. We often tell parents it's okay that the baby doesn't want to be put down. There's a big pressure we feel to get them sleeping independently. That can come much later. So we really suggest learning to baby wear, which is something we can help with as well.
Okay.
They won't want to be put down and you'll kind of feel nap trapped. So if you can learn to wear them, then you can still go about your day and prepare food, And
don't expect, I guess, from what I'm hearing, is don't expect them to follow the same schedule, right?
Absolutely.
A couple of days it might be, they went down at 2 o'clock, and then you're like, they're not going down at 2 o'clock. What am I going to do now?
We put a lot of pressure on ourselves for sleep to go as we anticipate it to. And if we kind of let go of that, we can really enjoy the first few months and even years much more that way. Yeah.
Christine, what about other in-home family services that you provide?
So other things that our clinic provides for in-home is the new parent support coaching. So Julia and I are both new parent coach people, and we can come into the home and help with feeding and help with baby care and bathing and supporting the parents emotionally, physically, however that support looks like. Our lactation consultant does in-home services as well. So if you really want specific care around feeding the baby, and we have a pediatric occupational therapist that also does in-home visits.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I wanted to get to Flora's Walk. We're running out of time, but it's raising funds for perinatal mental health. And I just wanted to let you know that we could have you back on if you want to talk about that in more description. It's coming up on May 25th, so we've got a lot of time. We'll talk about it and figure out another time to have you back. I'll mention it at the end of the show, but I just wanted to let you know this is a great walk, a great initiative. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
I was born and raised in Musqueam First Nation territory by my mother, who spoke Hunkaminam to me. As a child, I ceased using my mother tongue, as to use any language other than English was considered not being Canadian, so I was told. The old people came to me in a dream and reminded me of who I am and where I come from. I have reawakened. My roots are strong, and I'm no longer a silent speaker. My language tells me where I'm from. It defines me and guides me to teach others to learn and understand our culture and traditions. A gift for those in the present and the unborn generations. What was lost is found. What was asleep has awakened. My blood is here, and I am complete. I have returned home.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to the show. Back to talk about really the importance of educating and promoting diversity here in our community. And there's a great event coming up that we're going to touch on during this next segment. I'm joined by Busenje Nurinding, and welcome to the show. Great to have you here. You are a team leader with Smart Youth Network Canada, and you're also partnering up with Rwanda Social Services and Family Counseling. Let's first of all talk about your particular initiative. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, greetings to Ottawa people. My name is Nurudini Busenje. I work as a team leader for Smart Youth Network Initiative Canada. We started about a year ago, but we've been in business of supporting communities for almost 7 years in Africa and in Europe. Okay. So we decided to come to North America in Ottawa to make sure that we contribute to building the capacity of young people to contribute to their own community transformation. We realize that young people are normally left out when we talk about issues of policy, issues of building resilience in our community. We talk about freezing rains, we talk about a lot of sunshine, we talk about issues of mental health, homelessness and housing. We need to make sure that we have solutions from young people to tackle all those issues. And that's why we are here to put a stone on what other people are doing and also contribute to society.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
We were going to have somebody on the show from Rwanda Social Services and Family Counseling. They couldn't make it today, but tell me a little bit about what they do and their initiative.
Yeah, so we, 3 organizations, Rwanda Family Service Center, the Somalia Service Center, and also Smart Youth Network Initiative. So we came together to make sure that in this month of the Black History Month, we wanted to make sure that we support young people who live in Ottawa, the African Canadians, and other types of young people, to make sure that we come together and we share ideas. We review the available policies in regards to how can we make sure that our communities, are friendly, and we cannot have communities that are friendly without talking about the issue of inclusion, racism, and everything. So the Rwanda Community Center has been in place for almost 10 years. They have different programs in regards to, like senior programs. They work with a lot of newcomers to make sure that they settle in here. And yeah, we are happy as Smart Youth Network Initiative to work with them.
Yeah, and let's touch more on the, that importance of promoting diversity and when it comes to education. You touched on it a bit, but how do you go about educating the greater public?
Yeah, so when we talk about education, education is key.
Yeah.
Where I come from, they say education is so much important. And when you look at the global goals, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, education was at a center stage. So we need to make sure that people are educated on terms of different cultures. People are educated on how to live with each other. People are educated on how how to treat each other, like respecting people's opinions, respecting, people's races and everything. So we want to make sure that young people, when they're at school, young people, when they're at work, they realize that some of these things do exist, but then how do we build resiliency to make sure that, you cope up with the new environment that you're in.
What is the greatest challenge right now, do you think? Because I think we came a long way, and I think there's been a shift. I shouldn't even say a bit. There's been a huge shift, and I'm in particular, social media comes to mind, and people seem to be empowered to share their racism and their discrimination openly more than we've ever seen before. Do you think we've seen a growth in that?
Yeah, so a lot of people have come to platforms using social media to educate other people, like the importance of education, to educate other people on, what type of race they are. And for me, personally, I think we need to learn different races so that we know how, how to work together. I need to know how, to greet someone, because I cannot just come grab your water without saying, hey, can I take this bottle of water? So if I know how to say water, maybe in some language or in some culture, I'll be able to work with you. But still, the biggest challenge is that the policymakers do not have tables for young people to come sit with them and then lay strategies on how best we can advocate for some of these issues. And I think people in power don't take this seriously, Right. Yeah, when they're coming up with, action plans, strategies, policies in regards to building communities and fighting racism, they don't include young people.
Yeah, and not only do they not include young people, I don't think they include the right people very often in these conversations. So have you been lobbying government? Is that part of your mission in trying to get young people at the table to have some of these discussions?
Yeah, so the event we are hosting on Saturday, on 17th, we are working with Councillor King.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are trying to, call the policymakers in the room. We discuss with young people. We tell them, hey, this is what young people are saying, and then this is the alternative. This is what we want to do. But yeah, we are really lobbying the city of Ottawa to make sure that, they include young people in whatever they are coming up with.
So yeah, let's talk more about the event, Making Change by Fighting Racism and Building Inclusion. As you said, it's coming up on Saturday. That's at the Jack Purcell Community Center. What does that discussion look like? Do you have a panel discussion? Is there a question and answer period?
Yeah, so we have a lot of 10 amazing speakers from different communities. We are going to discuss about policy. Okay. We shall discuss about, budgeting, all these things. We need to make sure that we have strategic partnerships. We are going to discuss issues of building places and inclusion. So we request a lot of young people to turn up, come and make friends. We're going to have different types of foods. We're talking about inclusion.
So can you just show up, or do you have to register?
Yeah, so you have to register.
Okay.
You just go to social media, Smart Youth Network Initiative, Rwanda Community Service Center, Somalia Community Service Center. Everything is just
Fantastic.
There. But still, it's open. You can. Hey, I'm here to make friends. I'm here to eat some food. So everyone is welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the time. Yeah. February 17th, 1 to 5 p.m. at the Jack Purcell Community Center. As you said, check out social media to register. We'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. from coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Sizing is
Welcome back to the show. Back with one of my favorite guests. Her book club is absolutely amazing because she curates all the books for us and tells us this is your must-read. We're now back with another edition of Mary's Must-Read with Mary Taggart, editor-in-chief of Ottawa at Home magazine. But before I get to this, I was so excited because, you know, I follow local news, and I saw that your foundation, the Taggart Parks Foundation, made a major donation to the Shepherds of Good Hope. Tell me, first of all, to everybody at home about the foundation, then we'll get to the donation.
Well, so the Taggart Parks Foundation is made up of a group of family members between the Taggarts and Parks family. Right. And so the Taggart Parks family owns the Taggart Group of Companies, which is Tamarack, Tartan, Dorn, Taggart Realty. I'm not going to say them all, whatever.
There's quite a few.
There's quite a few. And building houses is a big part of our business.
Right.
And we all recognize that there is a homeless problem within our city, with, you know, worldwide. Like, you know, there's a homeless crisis. And so we were in conversation as a foundation. We donate locally and you know, outreach to our community as much as we can, and then the opportunity to be a part of 216 Murray with the Shepherds of Good Hope came to us, and it just seemed like such a natural fit. So we were pretty excited. We made a pretty large donation, and my husband Chris and I are co-chairing the campaign, and so, you know, you'll hear from me. We're really trying to, you know, we're really hoping that people in the community rally to support the rest of this building getting finished.
Because this is what, 48 units within the building?
It's 48 units, plus a community center, a kitchen, which Chef Joe from Coconut Lagoon is a part of.
No
so yeah, it's
there.
Pretty exciting.
Well, congrats. I mean, Mary is being humble. She said a significant donation. It's $1 million donation, so an incredibly significant donation. So on behalf of
exciting.
all of us in Ottawa, thank you for that.
It's, you know, we're fortunate that we're in a position to do that, right?
Yeah.
And we just want to make it clear that, you know, any donation is valuable to that cause. So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Listen, this is a nice start to the segment.
It's a nice start.
But now let's talk books.
Let's talk books. Okay.
Because you want to set this one up. Do you want me to show it now?
You can show it because I'm sure everybody is so excited.
They are. So Mary comes on the show on a monthly basis, and she gives us her latest pick on a must-read book. This is the latest in Mary's must-reads. Tell me about this book and why you chose it.
So it's really funny because it's called Interesting Facts About Space, and you will be excited to know this. Emily Austin, the author of this book, she lives in Ottawa. So that makes it even more fun for me. I looked at the title, I considered the title, and I'm like, I'm not really a space kind of gal, right? It's not about space. It's it's a character. So it's literary fiction with satirical humor, which you've been following our books that we've had. And, you know, there's been thrillers, and we haven't done a literary fiction, and we haven't done satirical humor. So this is a real shift, and it's basically a book where the character is the setting. It's really set within this mind of a very quirky, neurodivergent character who, it's like a gift to read this book because you're inside a quirky mind of a person that you might talk to and think, very unusual person. And she's her own worst enemy because she really struggles to get close to people.
Okay.
And her way of coping is to throw out interesting facts about space. Rather than say, I love you, she'll give you an interesting fact about space.
I love the
me
idea.
too. And it's the kind of book that, you know, she, as much as this character doesn't want people to get close to her and she doesn't want to get, you just fall in love with her. And she has this, reached out to Emily Austin, the author, and I said, you know, what inspired you? And she said, fear. It's, you know, the protagonist's fear, what we fear. The protagonist has this really odd fear of bald men. Okay. And she's having all kinds of visions of bald men kind of popping in and out of her life. And she has a fear of being a bad person, which, you know, is so funny and relatable because sometimes when we let our head go a little bit, think, oh, I'm a terrible person.
I'm a bad person. We've all said it to ourselves.
Yes,
Oh, yeah. Or we've turned to our partner, spouse, whatever, and go, oh, my goodness, I'm such a bad person. I was just thinking this.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's that's why I say it's a generous read, and it's one that I want everybody to read because it's, you know, it touches on very seriously bullying, as, you know, these children who are quirky and a little bit different, and she exposes all that and her childhood, and she does it in such a unique way.
This is a book I need to read.
Right?
You know,
everybody, I want everybody to read that book.
You know that I need to read this book for
Yeah.
sure. You're coming back in about 2 weeks instead of a month, right?
Am I coming back in 2
No,
weeks?
you're coming back in about a month. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we had changed the date. But something special. You're coming back with a special guest.
With
is that
the
right?
author.
With the author of your next pick.
With the author. I'm not, you can't make me tell you who it is.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. You brought some other books here.
I brought some other books because I always feel like, you know, if people are crazy readers like me, you're going to get through that and you're going to want to, okay, so The Other Valley, I feel like you would really like this.
Okay.
This is speculative fiction. Again, a twist for me because I read, you know, thrillers, women's fiction, character-driven fiction. So this is The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. It's basically, it takes place in a hidden valley. One side of the valley is 20 years in the future, 20 years in the past, and there's the crossover. So if you pass certain tests, you can cross over and see your deceased loved ones, but you have to kind of go through a lot. So super intriguing on those pages. Monica
loves this kind of story.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tell her it's coming out at the end of February.
That's my wife. If you're watching, I know she's watching. You got to get this book.
If you're watching, as if.
No, we got what, 30 seconds
30
left?
seconds. First Lie wins. That was a Reese's book club pick. Move Over Reese. Mary Taggart's in town.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Oprah,
First
Reese, you're
Lie
out.
wins.
Mary's
Could
in.
not put that down.
Come and get
in a
it.
minute.
There's
Come and get
another
it.
one.
Kylie Reid. Everybody loves Kylie Reid. She did such a fun age. So this is her newest campus fiction. A grad student takes on a job. She just wants to get ahead in life, but she's kind of bitten off more than she can chew.
Mary Taggart, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be back in about a month's time with the author of her next pick. We'll be right back after this.
Greg. My name means everything.
Tom Longboats.
I am Wolf Clan, Onondaga Nation. I've run many different races. I've run to survive and to be free. I've run to win for honor.
His people might be lazy, but this one's damn fast.
My people respected our runners, people who carried important messages from village to village.
I need a guide to the next post. Dispatch carrier, sir. I can get you there. God sakes, man, slow down. Who do you think I am, Tom Longboat? No, sir. I am.
Running makes me feel alive. It's everything.
Tom Lambo was the first Indigenous person to win the Boston Marathon. He ran his way to international fame and became an inspiration to generations of athletes.
On Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Well, we had our big Winterlude show live at the Canadian Museum of History. One of the partners, another official partner, is Madowkey Farm. They've got lots happening, in particular coming up this weekend because it is Family Day weekend. That means you have an extra day to get down to the farm and enjoy all the activities they have for you. I'm joined by Rayanna White Duck. She is the cultural ambassador at Indigenous Experiences. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Hi, thanks so much for having me here.
Let's just start off, first of all, Madowkey Farm. For those that aren't familiar, you should be because it's an amazing experience, but tell everybody at home a little bit about what you do at the farm.
So I'm a cultural ambassador, but at Madowkey Farms, it's really about creating that safe space for Indigenous and non-Indigenous people to come and learn about the culture. You know, as the original people of these territories, as an Algonquin person, it's really a good place to learn and to, you know, put forward reconciliation a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of things happen throughout the entire year, but again, things like this come up, you know, the Winter Festival, partnering up with Winterlude. Let's start off with the outdoor activities. We have some snow coming, which is exciting. But you've got, first of all, the snowshoe walk on the Legacy Trails. More than the snowshoeing, tell everybody at home a little bit about the Legacy Trails themselves.
So we work in partnership with the Legacy of Hope Foundation, and so that's why we named the trail the Legacy Trail. And what's really beautiful is that we provide rocks for the general public to come and write notes of reconciliation. And so when they're put out onto our Legacy Trail, and people can see these little notes. They're encouragement, right?
Yeah.
And then so we work within partnership. So for the festival, it is free. However, we do have programming where any of the proceeds that are purchased from these rocks will go to the Legacy of Hope Foundation, which will give residential school survivors access to resources that are very needed.
Also happening outdoors, of course, you've got the Ojibwe spirit horses. You also have the little animals as well. Let's talk about each of those.
So what's really exciting about this festival is it'll be the first time we offer the EAL free. It's an immersive storytelling program with Rhonda Snow, who is the artist and did a lot of the research with the Ojibwe spirit ponies. So she's going to be there, and we're going to be doing a portion and a segment with her. So that's really exciting. We also have the visual arts that we will be doing indoors. But the big thing really for the outdoors is the EAL as well as the snowshoeings, weather permitted.
You mentioned visual arts. Let's talk about that then. We'll jump into that because you have a visual art stencil workshop, right? Which, by the way, there it is right up on the screen there, which you have to register for. Right?
Yes, you do. Okay. So you can register on our website, and we have different time slots. So we have one in the morning and two in the afternoon. I believe it's at 2:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And you can come and learn about the stories, right? So at Madowkey Farms, we have a lot of visual plays that we do or have done in the past. And so our stencils are just an extension of that. So we get to do a little bit of that storytelling as well.
That's for all ages, right?
All ages.
That's what I like about almost everything you do. Is I just want to go back to outdoors because you're cooking over an open fire outside as well, right? So people can taste test a little bannock when they're there?
Yes, so that's one of the key and exciting parts as well, is the tea and bannock over the fire. And we'll have Cook and Pat there, who is, she kind of branded her recipe, if you will, for her bannock, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of see how it would taste, what the process is, the prepping and all of that, and it's right outdoors over a fire, so that adds that other key element.
Nice little warmth too while you're out there, right?
The smell,
cuddling around the fire. You've got your celebration of Indigenous Spirit meal as well, right?
Yes.
Is that part of the bannock?
No, it's separate.
I thought so. Okay, tell me about that.
So the visual arts, the tea and bannock, as well as the luncheon with the dance presentation does come at a cost. So you can register for those workshops or for those time slots on our website, medauki.ca, and you'll see all the information right there.
Excellent. Let's also talk about, you mentioned dance. You have a powwow dance performance. I want you to describe it to everybody because my family and I have had the great pleasure of being, it's a very spiritual, not only for those performing, but for those in attendance as well.
It's really hard sometimes to put into words.
Yeah.
Because for us, everything lives and breathes into each other. And so for us, dancing, singing, doing all of these is a form of prayer. And so there's no choreography for when we dance. I can't sit here and tell you to do this step, that step.
Yes.
It's really about a feeling and a movement. And so it's a similar thing for our singing as well, to that drum. That big drum is what we say is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And that's the spirit to what we dance. Also, as dancers and as singers, we dance for those who can't. So those who physically cannot be because they've passed on, or for family members who aren't able to get up and cut a rug as quickly. So it's really about, the community as a whole.
I know sometimes they're competitive as well. I've been to some of those, right, where you're being judged as a competitive, a powwow dancer. Is that part of this program, or is this just for, sort of, I guess, recreational purposes, I guess I could say?
Not this season.
Okay.
However, so for this one, it is a presentation, so you will see different dancers come up and present.
Okay.
Where we have our summer solstice in the summertime, which is a competition powwow. And then we have dancers all over the nation from Canada and the United States that come and travel to compete into these competitions. So that's what we call a competition powwow versus a traditional powwow, which there is honorariums given to the dancers. It's just a little bit different. It's not as contemporary as say as a competition. So it's really about coming together in prayer.
And Rihanna, before I let you go, I imagine the marketplace will be open as well, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to have, we have over 41 vendors from across Canada that put their artwork in our store. So the marketplace is a huge place to go and check out, see different kinds of artwork. The different visual arts that you'll see in there is incredible.
Yeah.
In fact, I just got these ones myself today.
Nice. They look great. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Miigwech for having me.
Miigwech. Again, the festival, again, official partner with Winterlude all weekend long from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Really encourage you to get out. Of course, register for some of those activities that are available online. We'll be back with more right after this.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university, so they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
I did it.
I need it.
The hero gave it.
And I am alive.
As an organ donor, you can save up to 8 lives and enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website. Pledge a gift of life. You'll be glad you did.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Well, it is a small world because I'm talking to my next guest, and we both realized we went to the Improv Olympics in the same years. I grew up in the theater, and there's so many benefits whether you get into theater and make it your career or not. It's just a wonderful, wonderful start to anybody looking at doing something exciting. And there's a brand new play at the Great Canadian Theatre Company that is a wonderful rom-com. It's called The Waltz, and their playwright is here to tell me more about it. Mary Beth Badian joining me on the show. Welcome, Mary Beth. Great to have you.
Thanks so much
What a small world,
it's
eh?
Crazy.
That's amazing. You're like, oh, you're a theater guy, and we got talking in that brief 2 minutes. But tell me a little bit about your background as a playwright.
Well, I've been a playwright for about 20 years.
Okay.
I started as an actor, and I think like many of us who felt underrepresented in the acting community, I wanted to see more stories that represented my community. So I started writing, and here I am 20 years later,
Nice.
With a surprising body of work.
Well, yeah, and a second in a trilogy that we're talking about. Tell me about the first play. Like, is it important that you had to see the first?
No.
I doubt it, right?
No.
Okay.
So it was important to me to write standalone plays that were
Right.
related to each other. And I didn't know I was writing a trilogy.
Okay.
So the first play I wrote in 2013, it's called Prairie Nurse, and it's very loosely based on my mother's immigration to Canada. She came in 1969 from rural Philippines to rural Saskatchewan, and she was placed in a rural hospital with another Filipino nurse, and the joke was no one could tell them apart.
Oh, God.
And so that was my play Prairie Nurse in 2013. I started to get antsy that people were calling that play an immigration story. And I felt that I needed to kind of push back on that idea that an immigration story is a finite story. And if it's not a finite story, then
Right.
what would be the next play in the continuation of this story? And around 2018, I was really craving to see two people fall in love. And
Okay.
that's
Why?
what I
Did you know
wrote.
why? It just came to you?
Well, you know, I was becoming a bit frustrated with this idea that stories of otherness necessitated a story of trauma. And yes, absolutely, trauma is part of a narrative of part of our community.
Right.
But it's not the singular story.
Yeah.
And I'm a Gen Xer, and I grew up on amazing rom-coms and coming-of-age stories. And why not, as a Canadian and as a Gen Xer, be able to flex in that medium that I love?
Right.
And so I just wanted to see two brown kids fall in love.
So is this love at first sight?
It is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much in a pastoral kind of vibe.
Okay. So where does the comedy come in then?
Well, it's a rom-com. So
Derek,
boy meets
it's
girl.
obvious. Yeah.
Boy meets girl. Unexpectedly, Romeo his name is Romeo.
Okay.
Romeo Alvarez, 18 years old, is driving from Scarborough, Ontario, across the country to go to school in BC. But because his mom used to work in Saskatchewan, she insists that he stop at a cabin to meet a person that she used to work with at the hospital.
Okay.
And that man is not there. Instead, there's 16-year-old Bea Clausen, who is the daughter of another nurse that used to work in Saskatchewan. And they're strangers, but over the course of one night, they find out that they have much more in common than they thought.
And you set this in the 1990s. And any particular
1990s.
reason why?
As I said, I'm a Gen Xer, specifically 1993.
Okay.
That's when I graduated from high school. And the music of 1993 and the vibe of 1993, this is Blue Jays championship season.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Summer
that's right.
of 93.
Yeah.
Really great. Like this is Nirvana, this is grunge, this is Smashing Pumpkins, but it's also Tribe Called Quest. It's also some deep cuts from Lenny Kravitz. It's my ode to pop culture.
I
in the
love
early
it.
90s.
So how did you go about choosing the music? Was it just music that you loved, or does the music in this help tell the story as well?
Well, yes. It's
Okay.
called The Waltz, and I will park that as the
Okay.
surprise ending.
Okay.
But music for me is a real entry point into finding like the emotional truth of a particular period. And it was also really important for me to kind of represent a part of the 90s that I don't think is really talked about. Like we talk grand pop culture of, say, Much Music. But
Right.
like where I grew up in Scarborough, in this like little enclave of suburbia, like Filipinos were the majority. And we loved house music and hip hop and a certain way of dressing that was really informed by like hip hop in the U.S. and some weird hybrid of wearing Eddie Bauer and Gap and the Roots. So you know, if this is a continuation of an immigration story, then we should be looking at the second generation who are born and raised in Canada.
Right. We just have a minute left. This kicked off on February 13th. You went to see it yesterday on Valentine's Day. What did it feel like?
It was dreamy.
Was
They
it?
had a very sweet special going on to promoting it as it would on a Valentine's Day or rom-com. Lots of couples, lots of families. They were really generous. And Tony and Erica, who play the roles, their chemistry is just so delightful and charming. You can't help but get caught up in them. So it was a really dreamy Valentine's night.
Nice. Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Mary Beth, thanks so much for joining us.
you
Really
so
appreciate
much.
it. And by the way, part 3 of the trilogy is in development right now, so you'll probably see that come back to the Great Canadian Theatre Company. It's running until February the 25th. You can find ticket information, the full schedule lineup, and times at gctc.ca. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. All right, few events we talked about on today's show. Let's go over them very quickly before I let you go. First of all, the Snowball. That's happening at Ottawa Arts Court and the Ottawa Art Gallery, February the 28th. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Live music, chef stations, beverages, everything included in your ticket. Snowsuitfund.com is the place to go. And of course, the Snowsuit Fund, a great cause to go out and have some fun. Beauty bar there as well, a bunch of other things. Flores Walk, we're going to have both Christine and Julia back on the show as we get closer to it, but that happens May 25th at Walter Baker Park from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's raising funds for perinatal mental health. So as promised, we'll have them back on as we get a little bit closer to that. Making change by fighting racism and building inclusion. That's at the Jack Purcell Community Center on February 17th, which is this Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. Love to see a lot of youth out there to enjoy that. And don't forget the Winterlude edition of the Winter Festival happening at Medowki Farm. That happens all weekend long from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. GCTC.ca as well to get your tickets for the waltz. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
My name is Risa Solomon St. Louis, and I'm the chef and owner of Bacchanal Taste the Caribbean Lifestyle. I love to eat, I love to cook, and this is one of the reasons why I became a chef. I'm excited to share some of what inspires me when you see me at farmers markets, when we're catering, through our prepared meals, and even our sauces and spice blends that we're known for. Thank you for coming into the kitchen with Risa.
Anyone can show up with a hammer and build something. It's really hard to build it properly. Sewage air is coming out of this. There's no reason to be